Right now, as you're listening, I am in far north Queensland in Cairns. The TNA crew have flown in from all over the world to come and race this weekend in the 70.3 and the Ironman distance event. Every year we pick somewhere in the world, we all rock up, we race together, and we have a really good time doing it. The bikes will be racked, there'll be nervous energy everywhere, but it is so good to hang with the TNA crew in real life. And I get to watch my athletes walk down to the start line in our brand new TNA tri-suit. If you want to see what it looks like, take a look at our socials over the weekend for some sneaky behind the scenes. Because these guys have worked with me on their nutrition for months and some of them years, every one of these athletes had their race nutrition for this event dialed in months ago. Not this week, not over last night's bowl of pasta, months ago. Hi, I'm Taryn, advanced sports dietitian and triathlon nutrition expert. You cannot sneak any fitness in or gut training in race week. The work is done, the adaptations are banked or not, and arriving at your race ready to roll has nothing to do with cramming in everything, but more to do with protecting the work that you've already put in and not undoing it in the final stretch. And something that frustrates me quite a lot is that most triathletes know that. And the research actually backs this. Studies in endurance athletes show a lot of them can recite some of the sports nutrition principles and guidelines that they know they need to be hitting, but they still don't hit them when it counts. One study found that 1 in 10 athletes actually nailed their carb loading in practice. 1 in 10. Now, I know from my practice that athletes have no idea how to carb load properly, but knowing how to do something is still not actually doing it. The athletes that reach the start line ready to roll are the ones that have all of these habits already entrenched. They're not just simply intentions. So today, to celebrate our racing Cairns, I'm giving you 5 habits of triathletes who reach the start line ready to roll. Stick around for habit number 4 because it is one that quietly takes more athletes out of their A race than any sort of fueling mistake out on course can do. And if you've got major FOMO already and are thinking that you'd love to tow a start line with our TNA crew somewhere around the world in the future, then make sure you get your name on the list for our next cohort at dietitianapproved.com/academy. Get your name on the list. You'll be the first to know when our next cohort starts, and then you can come and join in on the fun. Okay, the first habit of triathletes who reach the start line ready to race is that they've already banked the adaptations and then they protect the taper. Race week is definitely not the time to train harder or to eat less because you're worried that you're going to get fat. The taper trap is so real. Training volume drops and we wig out. We start questioning if you've done enough training, what training mistakes you've made. So athletes go and punish themselves and put more training in or too hard training. And they also start to drop their food right alongside that. So you roll up to the start line underfueled before the gun has even gone off. The adjustment in your race week is usually more carbohydrate relative to your training load, not less, so that you can top up your muscle glycogen fuel tank. You're definitely not trying to get fitter and faster in race week. You're definitely not trying to lose weight. You are trying to arrive fresh with your fuel tank topped up. You're rested and you're well adapted, ready to go. Confident athletes are the ones that can back off the training and pair that with continually fueling. Whereas nervous athletes do the complete reverse of that. And then they wonder why their legs feel so tired on race day. So that is topping up for race week, but topping up is only going to work if you've been actually adapting all the way through your build. And that comes down to habit 2. Habit 2 of triathletes who reach the start line ready to roll and race hard are athletes that have recovered from every training session heading in. The workout, the training, is only half of your equation. You don't get fitter during the session. You get fitter from recovering from that session because you only adapt to the training that you recover from. Recovery nutrition is how the hard work sticks. Skip it and you're breaking your body down without giving it what it needs to actually rebuild stronger for the next session. The research on glycogen resynthesis is really clear. The sooner you get the right fuel in after your session, the faster you will restock it. Leave it too long and you blunt the whole process. And this is the difference between an athlete that can back up big week after big week versus an athlete that is just dragging themselves through training with legs that feel like you've got shoes made out of concrete. And this is exactly why I built the Recovery Accelerator. It is a short, self-paced course that gives you the exact framework I teach TNA athletes for exactly what to eat after every training session and every race. It includes the 4 R's of recovery, when to eat, what to eat, and when to prioritize it. You can absolutely get through it all in one wind trainer session or one long run. So if recovering and backing up between sessions is your sticking point, then go and grab it at dietitianapproved.com. I will link it below this as well. Now, recovering well session to session is what helps you practice the next habit number 3. Because if you are always wrecked, you never get to practice the thing that wins or loses your race. So habit number 3 of these types of triathletes is that they rehearse their race fueling in all of their long training sessions. They never wing it on race day. Because the golden rule of racing is never try anything new on race day. It is the oldest rule in the triathlon nutrition book, but athletes still break it. Your long runs and your long rides are your perfect dress rehearsals. Use the same gels, use the same nutrition, the same timing that you plan to use on race day. Because your gut is super training. You need to practice taking on carbs at race intensity for weeks in advance so that your stomach can handle it when it matters. The athletes that blow up on the run, often it's not due to fitness because the body is capable of so much more. Typically, it's because of nutrition mistakes. And potentially some people have a fueling plan that they've tested for the first time on race day. But by the time you hit race week, your race nutrition should be boring. Boring is really good. Boring means that you've practiced it so many times that you're almost sick of it. When your fueling is really dialed and really rehearsed for you, you protect your performance. But there is something you have to protect even before that. And it's something that a lot of triathletes actually forget about. And that's habit number 4. Athletes that turn up to the start line ready to give it their all have protected their immune system so that they actually make it to the start line in one piece. This is the thing that takes athletes out of their A race entirely, or it turns into just a really bloody expensive training session, a head cold in taper week. Heavy training is a physical stress. The research is really clear that hard endurance training temporarily suppresses your immune system and bumps up your risk of upper respiratory tract infections. Now, if you stack underfueling on top of that, training in a depleted carbohydrate state, it spikes your stress hormones even higher and makes the immune hit even worse. Add a poor night's sleep to that, add some work stress, add a long haul flight to get to your event, and you have built the perfect setup to get sick at the worst possible moment. Protecting your immune system in the final few weeks is really simple. Fuel properly, sleep well, manage your life stress, and do not crash diet heading into your race. You need to fuel enough, you need to recover enough, and you need to stay healthy. Do all of that well, and you arrive at the pointy end with one job left, to leave everything out there on course and give it your all, with 100% confidence in your race nutrition plan. The 5th and final habit is that they have planned and practiced their carbohydrate load. And no, it is not a giant bowl of pasta the night before your race. Carbohydrate loading is one of the most proven strategies in endurance sport, and it is also one of the most botched. It's not one big dinner. It is a strategically planned higher carbohydrate intake to maximize your muscle glycogen stores. There is a real number and a real target to hit that is specific to you and your physiology mapped out across your meals and snacks. It is not eat everything in sight. It is not suck back heaps of extra sports drink to try and top up. And it has to be practiced, just like your race fueling does. So the first time you ever carb load shouldn't be the day before your race, or you will be on the start line feeling full and bloated and probably a little bit grumpy, instead of feeling topped up, ready to roll and supercharged. Now, carb loading is exactly the type of nutrition principle that needs to be individualized to you. It is where most generic advice just falls over for triathletes. Working out your specific targets for your physiology and then practicing and refining it before your race is a huge part of what we do together inside the Triathlon Nutrition Academy. It is the difference between guessing it and giving it a crack and having a complete understanding about why and, really importantly, how to do it well. One more practical thing from me, and this has nothing to do with nutrition and everything to do with arriving calm at the race, and that is to have a legitimate race pack list. Everything that you need for swim, bike and run, as well as what you need beforehand and after the race. The athletes that reach the start line feeling relaxed and happy and ready to go are the ones that aren't relying on memory at 4 a.m. with race nerves and all the logistics and worried they're going to miss their bus transfer or worried they're going to miss transition or sleep through their alarm. And all of those race nerves just start running the show, and then you forget things. The athletes that are calm have a list. They literally tick it off and they know that no goggles have been left behind on the kitchen bench. Now, I've got a free one that you can download just to get you started, or feel free to use it forevermore. Print it and reuse it for every race or make it your own. Go and grab it at dietitianapproved.com/race pack list. I'll put that link below as well, and it's just one less thing that you have to think about. So there you have it, 5 habits of triathletes who reach the start line ready to go. They protect the taper and they keep fueling because no cramming or no slashing food or no crash dieting is going to serve you well in race week. They recover from every session for months before the race because you only adapt from the sessions that you recover from. They rehearse their race nutrition and fueling for months so that it's boring by race day. They fiercely protect their immune system so a cold doesn't end the race before it's even started. And they plan and practice a proper science-backed carbohydrate load specific to them and planned to make getting that volume of food in a piece of cake. None of these 5 things is luck. All of it is habits and behaviours built over months, the same way that your fitness is. If watching our crew race here in Cairns has done anything, it's really reminded me that the athletes who get to enjoy race day are the ones that just did the boring, consistent work long before they got here, and nutrition is definitely included in that. If you want to be on a start line like this with us, then get your name on the Triathlon Nutrition Academy list at dietitianapproved.com/academy. You'll be the first to know when our next cohort is beginning, and then you get to do this with a crew that's done the work right alongside you. The best time to sort out your nutrition was last year. The second best time is now. Thank you for tuning in today. Wish us luck, and I'll catch you next week.